Welcome once again, everybody. We are here with a continued unboxing. Number 6, we have our CPU cooler. Chris, would you go over our specs, please?
Sure. So we're going to say we got this refurbished, so this isn't going to be the actual box you get it in.
Correct.
But as you can see, they're certified refurbished. They're on the box. We get this opened. This is the H100 V2.
Yes, H100i V2.
So what that means is it is a 240 mil radiator cooler all in one. You do get your two fans. These are going to be their I forget what model they are. They're either AP.
They're black and gray.
I think it's AP, but anyways, you got your mounting hardware for both AMD and Intel sockets. And then our cooler itself.
And one thing to check right off the bat, check to make sure there's no water inside of the bag. I've read off of some other all-in-one coolers. That's a good thing to check for. Just right off the bat, you know there's no leaks if there's no water in the bag, which is a good thing. There were some issues with some other all-in-one coolers that I was looking at, and Swiftech specifically, they're all-in-one, and a couple others. And some people literally opened their brand new retail box and found water inside of the shipping bag. So let's remove the plastic here.
So we have your tubing, which is like this braided black material, which is nice. It's not going to kink very easily. You have a good, nice, maybe 3/8 inch tubing. You also now have your 240 mil radiator. They also have one that's a 280, which is two 140 fans on there. You have a nice aesthetic, all matte with this nice custom metal kind of like piece on the side. And you also have your water block itself, pre-applied thermal paste with that same aesthetic. With that,
yeah. This is interesting, trying to rotate around so you can
the
see.
tubing is pretty stiff, I've noticed just from us dealing with this. So you have a really tight case, maybe one that's maybe micro ATX. It might be more difficult to deal with.
There's actually a lot more tubing than I thought there was going to be. Obviously, they have to take into account that some people may be putting it in a full-size case. So the top of the case is further away from where the motherboard
or the front of the case. Sometimes.
Or the front. But yeah, ITX case, this would be
a tight fit.
A tight fit because you're talking something more or less like that, maybe even tighter, and that's a lot of tension on that. But anyway, it's a mid-size case that I'm using specifically, so it shouldn't be a big deal.
And we also have your fan header connectors. This also does include or support the Corsair Link capabilities, which it'll be able to change, I think it was the RPM, the fan speed, all of that.
And because we're RGBing it up in this case, this lights up and you can change the color. So of course I'm going to match it with the rest of the colors.
Nice. Well, good deal. So they do have a lot of different models. Corsair, they've been one of the first companies that had all-in-ones. I've used them and recommend them. Warranties are great, but a lot of different models for fan size, radiator thicknesses, 140, 120, for whatever you need. But this would do just fine for a CPU that if you're going to overclock, I would say a 240 radiator for an overclocked CPU. Usually the frame of reference is a 120 or 140 for every component you're going to use. So overclocked, you're going to have more heat. So this is going to be able to dissipate that perfectly fine.
So one thing I did, what made me pick this over some of the others was obviously Corsair's, I guess, product history. They've been doing these all-in-ones for longer than pretty much anybody else that makes them now. They were kind of the first ones to introduce it, and then a number of other people followed in their footsteps. I looked at a number of, was it ZXT or ZXRT? I don't remember the exact company name, but they make lots of cases and other things. And one of the things they make is a all-in-one CPU cooler as well. So like I said, the SwiftTech one. I was very, very close to going with the SwiftTech, but the thing that kept coming up over and over again was that something kept leaking. People would get them right out of the box, like I said, where the radiator's leaking, or within like 6 months of them being installed, either the connectors at the CPU block would start leaking. People lost video cards because of it, so that really dissuaded me. But one thing that I really liked about the SwiftTech specifically, and the reason one thing I was going to go with is theirs is actually expandable. So it's a all-in-one for the CPU, but they actually have 2 ports where you can extend that into add more things to the loop. Essentially, you would obviously want to add probably another radiator if you're going to add a GPU or memory or something like that, but it has the option. It had a small reservoir as well as the built-in pump to it, so you can actually add more coolant as needed. Obviously, it was a little more expensive than this, so this retails on Newegg. I believe they are 105, I believe, is the regular retail price. I got this for 80. So yeah, save a good $30 right there, plus free shipping. So again, a little bit of savings by going with the refurbished. Obviously, the warranty period is a little bit less. The warranty for the new one, I believe, is 3 years, where this is just 1 year, as the box says. So that is the unboxing for the Corsair Hydro Series, the H100i V2. So this is a 248 size radiator again with 2 fans, all in one loop. So next up, we're going to hit the all-important GPU.